From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICB Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. And I hope you are feeling the same. And it is time for the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles. And yeah, it is what it is, baby. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk about what happened last night. Jimmy Butler. He led by Jimmy Butler's 56 points, get a decisive 119-114 win over the number one Bucks, now up 3-1 in the series. Can the Bucks still win this series, or is it over? Of course the Bucks can still win this series. They're good enough to win the series, but Jimmy Butler was an absolute monster last night. He made sure that he got his team home last night. That was just pretty much what he had to do. He scored 56 points, very critical times where that happened as well too. You thought that possibly the Bucks would just hold them off, but the Heat had an incredible fourth quarter that saw them score 41 points in a 69-point half as well too. So there was just a lot of great things that happened for him last night. 57. So it was 67. It was 69 to 57 in the second half last night, compared to the 57 to 50 in the first half. So that's where you get this game at. And it was a great game. It was a great finish, and you had a great moment for Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler went ahead and just proved his point that he's still one of the top tier players in the NBA, and that everybody does still have to respect where he's coming from. It's like, don't think that the 2020 bubble run was just, fluky situation. Jimmy Butler is a ball player, and it's very obvious that he's that dude. You know what I mean? So pretty much we have ourselves a very fun playoff right in front of us right now. I think that there's just a lot of things that work out, and everybody's it just works out in everybody's favor that we have a series like this, because you want this series to be a good series. You want it to be a great series. You don't want it to be one of these series where a team just gets ran through, and that's exactly what the Heat are avoiding their plan. But the Heat can't afford to beat the Bucks with just Jimmy Butler scoring 56 points, and then the next highest score that you had was 15. So they're not going to really get the same outcome if Jimmy has to have another get him off game, because now you have Giannis back in health. Giannis scored 26 last night. Brook Lopez actually led the way in scoring last night with 36. So that was pretty huge for a guy that considered pretty old. So pretty much they had a very, very good way of going about this game, but they're going to have more in the next games. It just can't be Jimmy Butler. It seems like their offense is a little stagnant without Butler, and I think that was more energy than anything the other night. And I think this was exactly what the doctor ordered for the Bucks to play better, because the Bucks have been kind of cruising through the they kind of been cruising through. They kind of cruised through the season. They kind of had this idea that they're the Bucks. They've won a championship in the last few years. They can turn it on when they need to. They feel like they're at full strength right now because they have everybody. Chris Middleton, everybody's there. It's nobody that's hurt or anything like that at this point. But there's just a lot of things that they have in there. There's a lot of mistakes that they just been making on the defensive end, and they're not a team that makes a lot of defensive mistakes. They're being a little bit too cocky, and that's just really what it is. So at the end of the day, they're going to have to buckle down and win this series. There's no more tomorrow. There is no more next game. They are in their backs are up against the wall. This really goes to show us who's really championship worthy and who's just a front runner. And will the Bucks get the memo? Will they be more than a front runner? That's the biggest question that we have going into this game and into the next game and into the rest of the series as well too. So now it's a game by game situation, but this game by game situation does favor the Bucks because they get the next 2 out of 3 games at home, but they're going to have to win a game in Miami. It's really that simple. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But Miami's up 3-1 in this series. But do I have confidence they will win this series? No, I don't have the biggest confidence that they'll win this series. But you know what? You can't deny it because they're right there where they need to be at. So we'll see how it goes. But I truly do think that the Bucks will figure out a way to get back in this series. I think that they're going to blow them out when they get to Milwaukee Thursday. And I think that, or tomorrow, whenever they play. And then I think when they get to game 6 back in Miami, then the Bucks will go ahead and get the series back in their favor. And yeah, it'll still be 3-3, but then they'll have that final home game. I just think that Miami's playing on a good natural high right now after literally almost missing the playoffs. So I think that they just want to make sure that they showed that they were division champions. So it is what it is at the end of the day. We move forward from there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into State of the Lakers. State of the Lakers, we have ourselves a big one last night from LeBron. LeBron had a 20-20 last night. He got 22 points, 20 rebounds last night, led the Lakers to a very clutch victory that they had to get in overtime. LeBron hit the a layup to put the Lakers to tie the game, to push the game to overtime. Austin Reeves led the Lakers in scoring last night with 23. That was huge. And then AD did have somewhat of a bad game last night because he didn't score the way that you want him to score. He went 4 for 13 last night, and he only scored 12 points. And then he also only had 11 rebounds. Even though 11 rebounds, he still had a double-double. People won't be satisfied with this performance because they wanted him to do better. But once again, the Lakers got what they exactly what the doctor ordered. As I said before, the Lakers always win when they get 5 guys in double figures. Last night, they got 6 in double figures. They only won the game by 6, but they played well enough to get to this point. And I would say that D'Angelo Russell's 3 threes there in the final 5 minutes were huge to get the Lakers back in the game because at that point, the Lakers were down 7 points. Russ wound up hitting 3-pointers in a row. Also, Anthony Davis hit a clutch shot there at the end, but the LeBron and one was everything. And I think everybody, it wasn't an and one, I'm sorry, but the LeBron final bucket, yeah, it was an and one, I'm sorry, but that LeBron bucket was pretty huge there in the fourth quarter. And I feel like LeBron is in a mental capacity that says that, you know, we're kind of rewinding the clock a little bit, and sometimes I can go 2012, 2011 on them real quick. You know what I mean? I can go 2013 on them real quick. I can go 2016 on them real quick. And I think LeBron is rehashing his better days in the NBA playoffs, and that's what's helping the Lakers out, that he has taken on full leadership when AD has been kind of down. And, you know, AD only scoring 12 points and having 11 rebounds in 41 minutes, that disappoints a lot of people. But in my old coaching days, I would have loved that performance coming from my center because, you know what, my backcourt took care of us on what we needed They took care of us at the end of the day. And once again, I know his effort will probably get overlooked, but Schroeder was huge as well too. And, you know, you didn't get Hachimura as hot as he's been. He only went 2 for 9 yesterday, and he only had 7 points. But still, his impact was felt as well too. And now now you can tell they're trying to account for him. And Troy Brown, a guy that always plays really good basketball, even though he might not score every game, he always figures out ways to impact the game, contribute to the game. He got a good 6 points yesterday as well, too, that were very helpful for the Lakers. So the Lakers are 1 game away from winning this series, but that doesn't mean they win the series because the Lakers still have to take care of the series. This reminds me a lot of when the Lakers were up 3-1 against against the Phoenix Suns team, and Phoenix Suns wound up winning 3 in a row. I know that they don't have the same skill level, but it's in the same position. They were a 2 seed. The Lakers were a 7 seed. Yes, you had Kobe Bryant at the time, but Kobe Bryant didn't have a championship type caliber team with them at the time. The Lakers, are they a championship type caliber team? We will see in these next 3 games. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I'm not writing off the series just because the Lakers are up 3-1. The Grizzlies gave the Lakers everything they could possibly handle yesterday, and that was at home. The Lakers literally walked out of there bruised and battered, in my opinion. If that was a big fight or something of that nature, yeah, the Lakers won, but did they actually win? They won the battle, but they still haven't won the war. And I think that Memphis has a lot of confidence knowing that they got the next 2 out of 3 games at home, and knowing that they have the best record in basketball at home as well too. They know what time it is. They got to win in LA. So the Lakers need to go in with the idea that, you know what, we got to reverse the idea. We're down 3-1 here. We're down 3-1. We don't want to go back to LA and play these guys and risk the fact that we might have to come back here and play these guys again in a game 7. We don't want to wind up like Chris Paul and the Clippers, who were actually up 3-1 themselves against the Grizzlies. So you have to make sure that you understand that you're the 7th seed. You're not the 2 seed. You're not the 1 seed. You're not the 3 seed. You still are the underdog in this series, regardless of how the rosters are looking. Regardless of you having LeBron James and AD, you're still the 7th seed. So the Lakers have to make sure that they play with the mentality that they're down 3-1, and this could be the season right here. That's how they got to go into Memphis to win the game. And I think that's the right mentality, but they can afford to lose this game at the same time too. But you just don't want to. That's the whole thing. I think that the Lakers, everything is in the right motion right now. You'll probably get a little bit more from Hachimura, but Hachimura not scoring, it didn't matter. Vanderbilt stepped up on that side to score those points. So the Lakers have a full unit that can account for a lot of things out there on the court. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. I look forward to the next game between the Lakers and the Grizzlies. This is a great series, regardless of it being 3-1 right now. It's great for TV. John Morant's absolutely cooking, and Bane is playing great basketball as well, too. So it's a lot of fun going on in the series. So, there it is. Lakers up 3-1. Hopefully they can go ahead and shut this thing down as they wait for the winner of the Warriors-Kings series, which I think is destined for 7 games. But we'll see tonight. We'll have more to talk about when it comes down to that game. But good thing that they gave them an extra day off from what I'm seeing here as well, too. Yeah, it looks like they're getting an extra day off, the Warriors and the Kings. So that should be a lot of fun. So let's go ahead and jump into tonight's actual matchups. And tonight's actual matchups, we got 3 games tonight in the NBA. And pretty much 2 of them are in the West and 1 of them is in the East. So here we are. What do we have here? We have ourselves the Hawks and the Celtics up first. The Celtics coming in here 3-1, ready to close the series out, 13.5-point favorite tonight, and they got an over-under 230.5 in this spot. Now, they did go over in their last 2 games, and Boston got a really good win on Sunday. They truly did. Boston played remarkable basketball to win that game. They won by 8, but they were able to make themselves the decisive winner about 5 minutes left to go in the game. But Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, once again, the best duo in basketball, they go ahead and score 31 points apiece. Jaylen does it in 42 while Tatum does it in 38. Then you have Marcus Smart, one of the best complimentary players in the league, get 19 points. And also Derek White chipped in his 18. So that was a good little effort from the starters, even though they got 0 points from Al Horford. It's all good. Robert Williams made up for that with 13, and Brogdon got his 14. And then you also had 3 from Hauser. So in all, you had 20 come off the bench. So that kind of took care of that portion for him. But they had 6 guys in double figures as well, too. So that was pretty big for this. That's pretty big for this Celtics team. The Celtics team is growing as they go. And as you guys all know, DeJounte Murray is going to be out for this game. And, DeJounte had a big-time game last time out. He actually scored 23 points at 9 rebounds and 6 assists, but he bumped into a ref. And so pretty much that's a no-no. And a lot of guys have been doing this kind of freely where they just keep running into the ref. And pretty much they were fed up with it, and that's why he's been suspended, because it's just, you guys think that it's okay to do it, and it's not. You don't touch the ref. It's just really that simple. But tonight, the spread says that it's going to be a Boston blowout. But in my mind, it says that the Hawks are going to give some type of effort here in their final game of the season, because guys are playing for their basketball lives who aren't the stars of the team, and guys are playing to get those extensions to stay in Atlanta as well too, because some guys don't want to leave the comfort of playing for the Hawks. So this is going to be a game where I do see some effort going on here. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But Celtics Hawks tonight to kick off everything. So let's go ahead and jump into our next game, and that's going to be this one right here. It's going to be the Wolves and the Nuggets. The Wolves coming in here, the number 8 seed. They're down 3-1 as well too. And then you also have the Nuggets, the number 1 seed, 3-1. And if anybody's been playing really solid basketball, even though they lost the last game, it should have been a sweep in my opinion, because the way they finished off that fourth quarter to go push it into overtime, you have to respect where the Nuggets are coming from. The Nuggets play as a machine. They're selfless, and there's a lot of things that the Nuggets do that other teams just don't do in the NBA. I feel like there's no ego on this team. I feel like it's not about stars on this team. They have the same mentality of the Detroit Pistons from 2004, who won the NBA championship. Yeah, you said Chauncey and Hamilton were like the stars of the team, but the real star of the team was Ben Wallace, and Ben Wallace didn't score that many points. I feel like Jokic has the same type of impact, but he does triple doubles. You know what I mean? It's where he just goes about the game the right way, just like Ben Wallace did. And when you got a guy that plays the game the right way to the max, it really rubs off on everybody else. Yeah, they had a terrible playoff the year before, but you have to understand, they were not that far away from beating the Lakers in the bubble. I would say this, that they were probably the toughest matchup the Lakers had in the bubble out of any team that they played. And Denver was a team that was on the come up at that time. Well, let's all remember, I think Denver was Denver like the 6th seed or something of that nature? They weren't a high seed from what I remember. And they weren't favored to beat Utah in that series either. And they came back and they beat the Clippers, and they were down 3-1 against the Clippers. And I'm telling you, that Nuggets team grew so much in the bubble. And by not having Murray the last 2 seasons in reality, they haven't been that good. They've been good, but they could be better. But in that 2-year stretch, Jokic has won the MVP, and he's possible to win a 3rd MVP this year. And so literally you have a Nuggets team that's on the brink of being the best team ever in franchise history. Everybody's talking about the Lakers. Everybody's talking about the Warriors. Everybody's talking about the Suns, but they need to talk about the Nuggets more. The Wolves are a team that should have been in the top 5 of the standings of the Western Conference, but they had a very flimsy season, and they keep getting stuck with the idea that they traded away so much for Rudy Gobert, and he's not the guy that they really expected that he was going to be in reality. Yes, he's still playing great defense. Yes, he's still a force to be reckoned with on that end, but they're still an A-seeded team. They brought him in with the idea that they would be a top 3, top 4 team, and it would easily be the Northwest champion at this point. None of that came to fruition. So pretty much right now, the Wolves are figuring out how this roster is going to work. But if anybody has the leverage to make a monster deal over the summertime, it's the Wolves. It's that simple. So you got two teams that are going to be much better as the future goes along because their teams are very similar in a sense. Positionless players, a lot of good talent. It's just that it all comes down to coaching, and it all comes down to will and want, and it all comes down to commitment. And I don't know if these guys in Minnesota are as committed to their franchise as the guys in Denver are. These guys absolutely love playing together, and you can tell that they'll take pay cuts to play together. And that's a beautiful thing to witness for a basketball team, in my humble opinion. So with that, I got the Nuggets tonight absolutely trashing the Wolves, to be honest with you. I think that they get to work early and they go ahead and they take it easy there in the fourth quarter because they'll be up 20 or better by then as well, too. I just think that they're about to take it to the Wolves. No Kyle Anderson tonight. Kyle Anderson's their verbal leader, and I just don't think that is going to happen tonight. They're going to need him for a game like this, and he won't be there. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But we move further. We move on from there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the Suns and Clippers game real quick. I don't have much to say about this one because I don't think much of this one because after once again Kawhi saying that Kawhi is going to be out, Paul George was already ruled out for the whole series. They just didn't want to go ahead and kind of kill it for Kawhi and just keep it real with us. The moment that he hurt his knee and he wasn't available for game 3, you knew his series was over. And when you saw that Kawhi was out, you knew that the series was over for the Clippers. It doesn't matter. They've left Russ all by himself again. Russ had to deal with this in Oklahoma City. He had to deal with somewhat the same situations in Houston and in Washington where the other star just wasn't there. Even though he did have Harden in Houston, that's more about, that's the bubble, blah, 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 blah. But in other stops that he's had, it just seems like he keeps having this bad luck where he's not able to actually, play with the other star. It's been a problem like this for the last 5 years or so. So pretty much at this point right now, we do have ourselves a guy that just is looking forward to having himself a very, very, quiet summer, in a sense. But I think that the Clippers possibly will be figuring out a way to get assets for both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard because they're about to move into this new stadium and they're going to have to start making things a little bit more affordable. And they're already overspending on a whole lot of nothing. You're going to overspend on another first round exit. I don't know about that. So Ballmer, is his patience still there? That's the biggest question. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But there it is for that. And pretty much let's go ahead and get ourselves to our first commercial break. And when I come back, we're going to go ahead and jump into Blue Crew Daily. And we're also going to jump into the MLB for the night as well, too. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, here we are. Here we are. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our next topic in hand, and that's going to be the Blue Crew Daily, the Dodgers, the Dodgers, the Dodgers. But the Dodgers, I think that the Dodgers really are, something special, because they always figure it out, right? I think that all in all, this is probably their toughest series of the season because they're going against a team that actually holds the best record in the National League. From what I'm on my excerpt, you see the Dodgers open up series here at the Pirates, who hold the best record in the NL at 16-7, and they're riding the 7-game winning streak coming into this game. So I think that truly what happens in this spot is that the Dodgers have to make sure that they don't overlook this team at all, because this team is going to come in here with the attitude that they're here, that they believe in what they're doing right now, and I think that, you have to make sure that you take it as serious as possible. They got one of their better starters on the mound today in Johan Oviedo. Oviedo has done nothing but good things since his first day pitching. He went against the Red Sox, actually gave up 5 runs that day, but he struck out 4. Since that point, he's only given up 2 runs, and he's actually struck out 21 guys since that first start of the season. So he's actually been one of their better pitchers moving forward. Now you got Thor, who's 0-3 on the season. He's kind of got banged up a little bit, but we can say in the Mets game, he didn't get enough run support. And same thing goes for the Cubs game. He didn't get enough run support because he was spectacular in the Cubs game. He's also spectacular in the game against Arizona. But what happened in that spot was they blew the save late, so he wasn't able to get the win in that spot. But it's not on him so much. It's more about the bullpen not backing him up. The only game where you could say he got absolutely crushed in was the Arizona game in Arizona. The other games he's been decent. He's been good. He hasn't been Thor of old, but he's been better. You know what I mean? And I think that all in all, tonight he should be able to bounce back. And he's also had a great history against this Pirates team as well, too. So that should work out in his accord. But one thing that the Dodgers do have working against them, they had dominated the Pirates for a good 3-4 years. But the Pirates had one of their better seasons against the Dodgers in years. They actually came to Chavez Ravine last year and swept the Dodgers, and they took 2 out of 3 in Pittsburgh last year. So they went 5-1 against the Dodgers. So they're confident against the Dodgers. So pretty much this isn't a regular series in Pittsburgh where it looks like the Dodgers can just walk in there and go ahead and stomp out the Pirates real quick like they usually do, have a varsity JV game. Nah, this is going to be a real game because you got this Pirates team playing with a lot of confidence right now, and you got this Dodger team trying to consistently win right now. So I like the matchup tonight. It's going to be a good one. And from what I'm seeing here is I think the Dodgers and Pirates have set themselves up for a real pitcher's duel. So the under is a very strong play in my opinion, but I truly do think that the Dodgers do go ahead and eke this one out. They're a -115 favorite tonight, but I think the Dodgers can win this game by 2 or more runs. So I like the run line tonight. I think the Dodgers absolutely continue their winning ways. They won 3 out of 4 in Chicago, including the final 2 of the series. So I think they can add on to that and add on to their own little winning streak that is much needed, so they can get out this log jam that's the NL West right now. So with that, we'll go ahead and we'll move forward, and let's go ahead and jump into our next topic, and that's going to be MLB Tuesday night. MLB Tuesday night, we got ourselves a full slate on the MLB schedule. We got a lot of interleague games and everything tonight, and we got a lot of games that have kind of a one-sided feel to it. You got a top team and a bottom team going at it, so it's kind of weird projections and weird, but it's still a good card. It's still a good night of baseball. You know what I mean? So let's check out this one right here. It's going to be the Red Sox and the Orioles. And the Red Sox and Orioles tonight, this presents one of our funner matchups. We have Corey Kluber on the mound for the Red Sox tonight, and then we got Bradish on the mound for the Orioles. Bradish has been pitching really good this season. Corey Kluber is going through what pretty much every guy who's had a major surgery goes through. Corey Kluber is actually like on his fourth team in the last 5 or 6 years. And this guy did win the Cy Young Award years ago. So pretty much he still has the credibility of a good pitcher, but he hasn't been pitching like a good pitcher lately. But against the Orioles, it could be a little different today. The Red Sox haven't lost 2 in a row in a few weeks. And I think that's pretty good because the Red Sox actually got off to a putrid start, but they've played better baseball over their last 10 games. I think they've actually won like 7 out of their last 10. So they, to me, present a very good underdog tonight. And they're going to be a plus 140 tonight. So I feel like the Red Sox can go ahead and get this one home for us. And I like them tonight with the plus 140 as my dog of the day against the Orioles, who, once again, go ahead and point your finger over here at Pop DiBiase, who was my wild card, who was my question mark, who was my dark horse to make the playoffs this year and maybe a little run at the AL East title. None other than the Baltimore Orioles, all homegrown, baby. And I told you guys that they had a very talented bunch, and they're sitting over here at the 22 games, 15-7. I like it. But tonight, I think that they go ahead and they fall short against their old arch rival, the boys from Beantown, Red Sox. And you know what? The Red Sox and Orioles could be bigger rivals than the Red Sox and Yankees. Reason being is because that's who the Red Sox bought Babe Ruth from. He was a part of the Baltimore Orioles. Now, this wasn't the Baltimore Orioles actual team because the Baltimore Orioles are the St. Louis Browns, but this was the Baltimore Orioles minor league team. And he was bought by and I think they were actually an independent league team, but he was bought by the Red Sox. So there's some history between the Orioles, the Red Sox, and the Yankees when it comes to Babe Ruth. So this is always the Babe Ruth classic to me. So pretty much I do like the Red Sox tonight plus 140. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We go from there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into a good divisional game tonight. Another divisional game because, Red Sox Orioles is an AL East game. Now we go to the NL East tonight, and we got the Marlins and the Braves. Marlins a little surprising this year because they've played pretty damn good. They were able to get themselves a nice series win over the Guardians this weekend in Cleveland. They won their double hitter, so that worked out pretty good for them. And they did this with their best pitcher actually sitting out the first game. So they are a team that you cannot sleep on. And I keep telling people that because Marlins got the best pitching in the division, simply that's not the Braves. And I think that whenever they show up for a game, if they can get a good effort from their pitcher, they can compete with anybody. But when their pitcher gets blown up, it's going to be tough. But it's always tough for this team to score runs as well, too. Even though they got the best hitter in baseball right now in Louis Arias, I think that pretty much the Marlins have the idea that they're not going to be a playoff team this year. They know that they're still missing a lot to get to that level. So right now, they're just going to go ahead and take care of what they can take care of right now and get better by the game and get better by the day. Damn, that bird was on one. I don't know what's going on with that bird. But Marlins Braves should be a good one tonight. I think this is more of a scoreboard watching game as well, too. Yesterday, I had the Braves, and they absolutely scorched the earth for me yesterday for my clients with the 1.5 run line. They won 11-0. So that worked out pretty well for us with the minus 125. So tonight, the way I'm looking at this one is I feel like what happens here is I think that the Marlins keep it a lot closer than you would assume. And I got the Marlins actually with the run line tonight plus 1.5. So I'm kind of going in reverse tonight and taking them with the plus 1.5. So it's a minus 105 on that ticket as well, too. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right, let's go ahead and get into our interleague game tonight, which is going to be a good game between the Tigers and the Brewers. This used to be a good old AL Central matchup. Actually, I think it used to be an old AL West. It used to be an old AL matchup, okay? And I know that they used to play in the AL Central sometimes, but I know Milwaukee was an AL West team and the Tigers were an AL East team. So I know that pretty much they've had their great games against each other, Brewers, Tigers, things like that. So tonight they get it back together. It's always a Midwest thing. So tonight you have two pitchers on the mound that you really can write off pretty easily. Laura is probably the better of the two, but we always know that Spencer Turnbull is a guy that the Tigers do look to be one of their better pitchers, but he hasn't been being one of their better pitchers. But he pitched well against Cleveland last time out, even though they did lose that game, even though he lost that game on his record, he still pitched well enough to win the game. He struck out 3, walked 3, gave up 3, and gave up 3 hits. So he was a 3-3-3-3-3. So pretty much he's trying to bounce back today. His best pitching effort, though, was against Toronto, and it seems like his pitching has came around because the first 2 games he got absolutely whacked. He gave up 12 runs, over 13 hits, and then he only struck out 4 in those 2 games combined. So I think that what happens here with Turnbull tonight, I think that he'll step it up in a sense tonight, and then you'll have a bit of a step up from Lauer as well, too, because Lauer did pitch pretty well against Seattle, and he went 7 2/3 inning in that one as well, too. And then he pitched pretty good against San Diego in the game before that. But last time at home, he gave up 6 runs to St. Louis. So that's something that you can factor in as well, too, because all of his good starts, 3 out of 4 of his starts been on the roll. All those were great starts. But I even said last time when we broke this game down, he always has trouble at home. So instead of fading the Brewers tonight, because the Brewers still are a team that can win this game and they lost yesterday, usually this is your makeup game when you lose the opener against a team like Detroit, but you never know. I'm going to go with the over 9 in this spot. So we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see how it shakes out. But that's going to be our games for tonight that I'm going over. So pretty much with that, we're going to go ahead and take another quick break. And when I get back, we're going to go ahead and talk those tickets. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing. With daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we're back with the Premier Sports Betting Show, the Primetime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And let's go ahead and get into Talking Tickets. Talking Tickets. I love me some Talking Tickets. I hope you do as well, too. It's a very good subject. It's something that always is very beneficial for everybody. And always remember, the parlay is the reward. I'm not telling you to play the parlay. I'm just giving you the odds if you need the parlay. But you know what? Single what you like. Like I always say, single what you, I mean that when I say single what you like. And you know what? You can single all of them. And then, you know what? If you parlay it, just see it as the reward. Because, you know, you'll want to mess around, get a 5 out of 6, and then be mad at me. But if you go and bet those 6 straight up by themselves, you know, put a little wager on there, just a little something, and then put the same little something on the actual parlay, then you can look at it like this. You swept the board and then you get the reward. And that's beautiful. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing. But you're not taking a loss because the parlay is like the lotto ticket. That's kind of like the easy way out in a sense. You know what I mean? Nothing's wrong with it. Nothing's wrong with it. But always know that the single is the play that most bettors will make their livelihood on. The parlay is more about the fun, the recreation, things like that. And the lottery effect. If you can get all your numbers lined up, if you can line up the stars, this is like hitting the jackpot. So sometimes I feel like it's taking a little shortcut to the money, but sometimes you just got to do that. But that's just on how you're betting. If you're somebody that bets just to bet, to try to get a big outcome, parlays are perfect for you. But if you're somebody who has a number that you want to wager on a daily basis, then singles should be your avenue. You know what I mean? So we'll see how how you feel about that. So you can take both strategies and use them, because at the end of the day, it's all about cashing the ticket. So you can parlay the thing, or you can go ahead and play it straight up. But just know when you play it straight up, don't play it for $20. You know what I mean? And when you're playing a parlay, you don't have to put $100 on it. You know what I mean? $20 is good enough. $25 is good enough on your parlay if you make the odds right. Now, if you got one where the parlay is it's a low odds parlay, but a high win rate on that, you have to annihilate it so you can make something off of it. But if it's something that has a win rate that they don't see that's going to be something that's going to hit, then you don't have to put that much money on it. I used to have guys putting $100 on, 60, 70 to 1 parlays that I put out. And I'd be like, no. You don't need to do that, because if you put the 20 on there, then you can go ahead and you can actually get back $1,200. So you got to think smart about this thing. So pretty much that's my whole 2 cents on that. So let me go ahead and jump into it real quick on Talking Tickets real fast. We got the MLB coming up first. And I just wanted to go ahead and break that down for you guys real quick, because I know that people just think that it's parlays and, no, these are singles as well too. That's why I always say single what you like. All right, so the first one is this. We got the Guardians -1.5 today with the +100. Then we got the Red Sox, my dog of the day, at +140. Then we have the under 7.5 with the Astros and the Rays today as well too. And then we have the Rangers with the -145. And then I also have the +1.5 with the Marlins -105. And then we have the over 9 with the Tigers and the Brewers. So that's going to be a 63 to 1 ticket. And that's going to be MLB for today. Let's go ahead and talk about our game 5 bets for the Hawks and the Celtics. I got the under 230.5. I also got the +8 on the Hawks first half. I also have the over 59 first quarter. And then we go ahead and we move forward, and we have the Wolves and the Nuggets game 5 bets. We got 9.5 to the Nuggets tonight. We got the over 112.5 with the first half. And then we got the -3.5 with the Nuggets first quarter. This is going to be Wolves Nuggets game 5 bets. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. We move forward from there. All right. So we have ourselves our last group here is going to be the Clippers and the Suns game 5. There's not much to talk about here. I don't think that the Clippers win the game tonight, but Westbrook's not going to go out without a fight. So I do like the +12.5 tonight. I got this feeling the Clippers could possibly be up at the half as well too, but I'm going to take the insurance with the +7.5. And then I'm going to go ahead and throw in the over 54.5 on the first quarter. So those are going to be our bets tonight in the playoff games. And then we also have the pick 6 in MLB as well too. And if you missed it right now, you missed Talking Tickets, just go to my Twitter. It's right there on the handle, Twitter at PopDiBiase, and it will be there on my tweets coming up in about the next 20 minutes. Okay. So I thank you guys very much for tuning in today. Tomorrow I'll be in Kansas City. So I'll let you guys know by at least 10 a.m. tomorrow that what time, if we're doing the show or not. but you'll still have Talkin Tickets. I'm not going to leave you guys without that tomorrow. So pretty much be ready for that. And Thursday, the show should be on Thursday. So you guys be ready for that. And pretty much I'm going to probably do the show about 1 p.m. Our time, probably 3 p.m. Central time. And just be ready for that. And, pretty much it's going to be a busy week this week. And I thank you guys so much for all the support. And you guys know that I turned 39 years old today as well, too. So pretty much it's another birthday. It's kind of a sad one because, it's the first one without my pops here. But it's all good, man. That's life. And pretty much I do really want to go ahead and thank everybody who wished me a happy birthday today. It means a whole lot to me. And you guys already know that I'm pretty much very excited about what's going on here. I don't want to get too excited, but I'm looking forward to the next month or so because it seems like it's going to be some good things going on as well, too. We got a lot of good fights going on as well, too, in Vegas. So pretty much you guys stay tuned because the show is just getting better and things are just getting better. And, man, I'm just very appreciative of all you guys showing the love that you did for my birthday. So thank you very much. And the party continues today. I already know, but I know I got to get on this flight too. That's going to be 7 o'clock tonight. So I got to get prepared to be up literally all night. So yeah, thank you guys. And you guys have a beautiful one. And I'll be back to you guys tomorrow, but I'll keep you guys posted because you never know. Things might get a little crazy tomorrow. I might have to be off, but for sure I'll be back by Friday. All right. So don't hold it against me if I'm not back in the next few days. So it is what it is. And yeah, so pretty much that's what it's going to be. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And once again, this is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper. And as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.